This video is brought to you by Ageless Geeks.
Cowabunga dudes and dudettes, this is Anthony, aka Batbomb82, and today I'll be doing my 137th Mezco Toyz 112 collective action figure review, this time being of Dr. Fate. Now this is a figure I am so happy to get in my collection, as Dr. Fate is one of my all-time favorite characters and I cannot wait to check him out with you guys. But before we crack this thing open, I want to take a closer look at the packaging. Okay, so one thing I wanted to show off real quick here is the packaging, because this is very new packaging than what we're used to here. First of all, the artwork, it looks awesome. I love that they're including artwork. Normally it would just be like a simple symbol right there in the center, just like an embossed image. I thought it was just going to be his helmet, but no, we get this beautiful artwork with Dr. Fate right there. I think it looks cool, and that is embossed, the Dr. Fate symbol. You can turn it around, it's the exact same artwork, but you got the 112 logo on the top right there, some write-ups at the bottom, and then you do get the Ankh symbol on the sides. And again, it was something like that I was expecting on the front, same thing with the Ankh symbol on the sides like that, but really cool. I wonder if this is going to be the packaging we're going to be using moving forward. I do prefer the smaller packaging than just presentation wise. Having the artwork like this I think is really cool. I love that, so very awesome. So now, with the box out of the way, let's go ahead and crack this figure open and let him breathe. Alright guys, now let's take a closer look at Dr. Fate here. Super happy to finally get Dr. Fate in the 112 collective line. This is my favorite sorcerer, wizard, whatever you want to call him, in all of comic books, and he was one character that I was just dying to get in this line. He's finally here, and I think he's freaking incredible. The gold that they use here is really nice. If you look at things like the gloves right here and his whole belt area, there actually is two different tones of gold, which is really cool. And the intricacy of the details and all that ornateness of all his gear, even down to the boots, all that look fantastic, man. You even got tread on the feet right there. All that stuff looks really good. I will say these right here aren't attached to the belt. So I don't know if they're supposed to be, or they're just sculpted that way, or why it's like that. But these are not attached to the belt right here. But everything else looks really nice. These shoulder pads are really cool. The whole upper armor right here looks really good. Really loving that helmet. You got the ears peeking out with a little bit of hair. You can see kind of the hair peeking over the ears like that. You see that? I think that's really cool, man. So I love that. You can see the eyes under the mask. All look really good. Everything about this just looks good. Again, I just love the detail of this whole thing. The gold fabric here for his skirt piece looks really nice too. Almost like a leather-like material, works out really good. So yeah, man, I just love the way this whole thing turned out. He looks awesome. I love the cape here. Very nice, shiny, vibrant cape. Different inlay on the inside. This is on a bendy wire, so you can pose it around however you like. So I think that all works good too. And the same thing with this collar area. There is a bendy wire throughout this collar, so you can shape it and form it however you like for yourself. Man, dude, this looks killer. One thing I will say, the underbody suit itself is just simple blue. I was low-key kind of expecting to have some of that, Mezco-fied bodysuits with the lining and texturing and whatever they do, but they kept it simple. Instead, they went and did their own thing with the different armor bits. So, it still has that little bit of Mezco flair. So for those of you who wanted more simple, I think that works for you. But maybe for those who want the fabric and the soft goods to be a little more Mezco-fied, maybe you might not like that, but still, there's no denying that altogether, he just looks badass, man. I am so stoked for this figure. Okay, so now moving on to the accessories here, we of course get the stand. You got the nice Ankh symbol right there, looking really rad. I love the way this turned out. Again, Mezco stands are my favorite stands. Then we get the clear articulated arm right here for having flight poses, and for a character like this, you're definitely going to want those things. We also do get all kinds of interchangeable hands here. You got these more open palm hands. You got these more fingered hands with the symbols like that. You can do all kinds of different poses. But you got closed fisted hands, different types of fingered posing hands. Do all his magic spells. More open palms like this for flying poses and things like that. Or more curled fingers like so. So pretty much everything you're going to need to do all his different sorcery spells and poses and things like that, which are flight poses, which are really cool. Now you also get 2 of these little clear pieces. Now what these are for, you're going to actually take the hands off and you're going to kind of put these on, slide over the wrist like so. And then you could take a hand and then plug the hand back on. These are going to be attachments for your effect pieces that we get here, and I'll show you those in a second. So we do got all these, right, a nice little clear effect pieces. I love how these are just strip die cut out of plastic. They're really nice, clear yellow, nothing crazy. They're simple. They look like straight from the comic books. I love this. You got this symboled one like here. You got this one with these like little diamond squared shapes, which looks really nice. So that's really cool too. Then easily the best one, which I'm going to pose them up on the shelf, is this giant Ankh symbol, which looks rad. Now on all of these, we do have a simple little peg right there. That's for plugging into these attachments, and you can just peg them in there like so, and that's how you're going to plug in the effects and then do some kind of like aerial posing or whatever you want to do. But look how awesome that looks, dude. I freaking love this so much. I'm having so much fun. Oh, that looks great, dude. Now, I will say, this does feel a little bulky, and I wish they had done something maybe a little different. I don't know what that could have been. Maybe I just need to get used to it, but this is definitely a new way they're trying to utilize effect pieces and things like that. So, once you have them on a shelf and you have them posed, I think it works, and I actually think it looks pretty badass, so I like that. We also do get this little squared effect piece like that. Now, I could be wrong, but I'm not sure. But I think it's for this accessory right here. Now we get this really, really nice looking book, which I think is great. I cannot remember the name off the top of my head, so feel free to let me know in the comments. But the sculpting of that looks beautiful with that gold and leather bound. Really nice. Really love the clamps right here. You can actually open this up, and there actually is paper pages. This is like a full-on book too, because I was kind of flipping through, and you can kind of see not all the pages aren't the same. They actually have different writings in them, so like different spells and stuff like that. So that's pretty mind-blowing how they just legit we're going to include a full book for you, and that's exactly what this is. So what I've been doing, and again, I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure that's what it's for. I've been taking the book right here and then sliding that on like so, and then opening the book so you could have it look like he's floating the book in front of him, things like that, using his magic spells to, hold the book in the air or whatever it might be. So if it's not for that, feel free to let me know and tell me I'm a complete idiot. Totally understand, but that's what I've been using that for, and it works out pretty good actually. It looks really, really nice. So I'm gonna take that off, take this off here, and then put the hands back on like so. All right, so other accessories that we do get an unmasked head. I think this thing looks really clean. I love the fact that we're getting an aged version of him with the gray hairs, the blonde mixed in, all the sculpting and the painting looks gorgeous on this. I am really stoked for Pierce Brosnan to be playing him in the upcoming Black Adam movie, so that's really cool. So I love the way this turned out, man. It looks really good to me. You can't just pop this on via peg like so. Actually, if I can just pop this on right there, like that, and pop that on there, boom, and I think that works out really good too. What's nice is we actually do get a separate helmet. This is just a hollowed out helmet like that, so you can pose it with him, holding it under his arm or on the floor, whatever you might want to do. So I like the fact that it just came with the helmet itself, like by itself as a separate piece. And no, it does not fit on the head like that. It's a little too small with the sculpted hair. You can't quite do that. So a little disappointing. But again, I do like the fact that they included it as a separate accessory by itself. I also do wish, this is just me, I wish this was vac metal, man. I really do wish this was a vac metal gold. That's just me. But I think that would have been awesome. But still, this came out so clean and just badass. I love it so much. So I'm gonna go ahead and take that off right here. And then I'm gonna show off this effects feature, which is the light up feature. So this whole thing has a drum you can pull out right here. You take the little back off and you put on the little button cell batteries that the figure does come with. And there's a little on and off switch. You can turn that on and you can see those LEDs right in there. And I kind of have to just put these on like so and then line it up in place. And you can kind of see it already lighting up to the chest like that. And then put on the standard helmet right there. And you can kind of see it glowing through the eyes. It's a little tricky to get it really nice, but it's not super bright. But if you turn off some lights, and you can see it actually does work pretty good, so I like that a lot. But under my heavy lighting, it doesn't show up all that great. But again, in dimmer lighting or in pitch black, it actually works out really good. So I do enjoy that. Again, you will lack some of the articulation here in the neck, like some other figures, I think like Cyclops and maybe a couple others. So you lose a little bit of articulation for that, but I still think it's a really nice effect. Okay, so now let's run down his articulation. So again, with that drum in there, you're mostly just gonna get left and right. No up and down movement, really. You're not really rolling around, so it's a little disappointing for me. For flight poses, I always like when a head can face up more. So this mostly just gonna go left and right, so I can see why people would be disappointed with that. Arms can go all the way up, down, up and out. Does feel like there's a butterfly joint in there a little bit, so it rotates around the bicep. Double jointed elbows that work really nice. You can rotate the gauntlet slightly, but it's mostly going to be rotation of the wrist as well as a hinge at the wrist, so that works really good. We get a double ball peg in the midsection, so it rolls around right there. Does turn left and right, pivots side to side, and crunches back and forth. Hips kick forward that much, back about that far, splits out about that much, rotation in the upper thigh, double jointed knees where he can kick himself in his own butt. A little bit of rotation at the boot, ankles are on ball pegs, roll around, rotate up and down, and a decent ankle rocker. So overall, I love this figure. It of course has its little minor problems here and there, so if you don't mind issues like that with the neck joint not being able to do a whole lot, or again, maybe if you wanted a more intricate design for the soft goods, you know, whatever it may be, I totally understand. But for me, I am just so happy with this. I mean, look at that, man. Imagine that on a shelf with your other Mezco figures. I think it's so awesome, man. So I love it. I think he's totally badass, and in my opinion, a definite must get. So for a quick size comparison, here he is standing next to a Marvel Legends Deadpool and McFarlane Batman figure. Also for comparison, here he is standing next to the Mezco 112 Collective Doctor Strange and Shazam. And just for fun, here he is with little Lego Bat Bomb. So there it is, guys, my review of the Mezco 112 Collective Dr. Fate. Now overall, I am very impressed with this figure, and I'm almost positive they're using one of the more modern bucks, which feels a lot nicer, so that's a big plus for me. The intricacy of the armor and the different shades of gold work really to the advantage of this figure. He just stands out and aesthetically is very pleasing. That vibrant blue for the suit is gorgeous. I do kind of miss the Mezco fight fabric, but again, that's just me. Totally understand why a lot of people would just want it simple. I get it, it still works out great. The LED feature is okay, I like it, but it wasn't really necessary for this particular figure in my opinion, but I get what they were going for. I love the cape, and just overall aesthetics of this guy looks incredible. Now the accessories and interchangeable parts are freaking awesome, man. I love all the different hands, I love the unhelmeted head, and the fact that we get a helmet by itself separately is really cool, and the different effect pieces are really nice. It's really interesting to see the new style that they're going with those arm attachments to hold the effect pieces, so we'll see if they start using those forward or they're just testing it out with this figure. I think they work okay, but they look a little bulky for me. But still, once he's on the shelf, he looks awesome. The articulation is rad. Everything about this is gorgeous. I love the fact that they give us a full-on book. I think that's super impressive, man. That's the kind of stuff that makes me impressed with Mezco as a whole. So still, if you can find him, he is so rad and definitely would look awesome on a shelf, and in my opinion, an absolute must get. So please comment, like, and subscribe. Stay nerdy, my friends. Peace.